In 3, 2, 1. Richard, Vanessa, what's good?
What's happening?
What's up?
Just a nod from you today, Richard.
We got the Brutus.
Yeah, what's up?
Brutus is Richard's dog, if anybody's wondering.
Oh my God! Stop talking to people.
Dude, I'll talk to
I
you.
was going to say the same thing, actually. I was going to introduce him to Brew.
Thank you. That's a good producer
We
job.
can put a picture of Brew. Brew's great.
Yeah, that's a great producer's job. Thanks for thinking of that, Vanessa. Richard, bad idea of not talking to the audience. Sorry, bro.
Okay, so can I bring my topic up, please? Because
Yeah.
this has been bugging me for like 2 days straight or since it happened or whatever.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Something happened?
Do you know the Ant-Man movies?
No. Oh, I know what they are.
What?
Okay, first of all, you should watch them because they're great. Ant-Man and Black Panther are like the only 2 Marvel movies that I actually like. Don't give me that eye roll. Anyway, so in the Ant-Man movies, there's this girl who was on Lost. I don't know if you saw Lost or she's the Wasp. You know, there's like an Ant. She just recently posted something like about her not being. I think her dad has cancer, so she's taking care of him, and she put her kid in like gymnastics camp and like drove him and left him in the camp, which the camp is still open if she's driving him there. She's not just right. And then said something about how like she's not completely 100% isolating and self-quarantining. Okay. And then the internet like broke her apart, and now she had to like apologize publicly for it. And then also they're thinking of removing her from this new Ant-Man movie, which is with Paul Rudd, and like they're going to edit it. Sorry?
Because of this?
Yeah, because of this whole thing. So within days, within hours, people are like going nuts and like insulted that she would do that, blah, 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 blah. And then she had to do an apology, but Disney's still going to pull her. So apparently the movie was supposed to be about like them two, and like mainly. And then now it's going to be about him with like his daughter. So I'm annoyed because this is America, freedom of speech. Second, like, even if you're stupid or whatever, she didn't really say in the post or whatever. She just says she's dropping her kids off at gymnastics camp. The camp is open. Okay, so like that's another thing. Like obviously if a facility is open, people are going to use them. Okay?
Where's she live?
I don't know, California, somewhere fancy. You know, she's a Hollywood star. I don't know. And then what else was the other thing? Now the movie's going to suck because they already filmed all this stuff, and then if you're going to change the storyline post filming, then the movie's going to, you know what I mean? Like there's no way, like kind of like what happened with the freaking Suicide Squad, and they changed directors 3 times in the Justice Leagues, and they also changed directors, and it ends up like really sucking. And then yeah, and unless Disney has like a clause in its contract that says like you can't say stupid stuff during a world pandemic and you get kicked out of the movie, like she's, you know what I mean? Like I don't know why it's really bugging me. Normally I don't really care about these things, but like I think I just wanted the movie to be good, and now I'm like, this movie sucks, and she shouldn't have been like kicked out of it because people on Twitter are like quarantined and are gonna like react about anything that's happening right now. And I wanted to see what you guys thought about it, and I assumed you guys would have seen Ant-Man or something like that.
Sam?
No, you go first, Richard.
All right. I'm a big Marvel fan, and I know that it takes a long time for them to like write their stories, and they have to incorporate a lot of different elements because they have like 40 superheroes.
Yeah, like it's crossovers. Yeah,
but they have to connect, and then plus they have to add in the Disney Plus characters that they're putting in. They have to add in some of the old storylines, so they're not gonna remove her. I mean, it would be very hard for them to remove her because the Wasp is pretty big, and I guess how they're gonna write the storyline for the daughter, she's gonna become the Wasp, but they still need her to like take over, or still need her to be there for the daughter.
They're reducing her role. They're not like taking her out, but they're just like, okay, let's basically put all the footage we have of the daughter to make it more father-daughter time than like Ant-Man and Wasp time. You know?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of the Ant-Man. I'm not a fan of his movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if the story changes and it's for the better, by all means, I'm cool with it. But I don't get why they freak out over like something like that though.
Yeah, like I know everyone's trying to stay safe and quarantine, but like then it's like get mad at the freaking gymnastics thing. I don't know. It just like hit me some sort of way. I was just like, I mean,
if she said that she did this and everyone should be doing it, like, oh, I'm fine, so everyone else will be fine, sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's like, look, I'm taking care of these situations because I have to. These are like my priorities right now. Like I have to take care of these things.
Like my family, yeah.
Yeah, like I can't just be inside all day. Like I got to do this. Like I think people will understand. You know, and it'd be weird if Disney freaked out and was like, no. Sam, what do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, I pretty much agree. I don't know if I have much to add. I agree. Like, I mean, it's not like she was promoting other people into doing it. It sounds like she was just like telling people her experience during this time. And it's also, I mean, it seems to me like, honestly, these corporations and companies react more, they have bigger reactions than most people do, you know, to this kind of stuff. Like when people screw up or people do, like the corporations and the businesses, they just want to clean their hands of it. So they just cut people and
that's true. Like when someone gets canceled, they're like, oh.
Yeah. Like most people don't really care, but like, you know what I mean? Or like, it's usually like a few really loud voices on the internet care. And like,
yeah,
the vast majority of the population doesn't. And I feel like this fits perfectly into that box where like probably 90% of people will probably be like, no, she shouldn't be cut from the movie. You know what I mean? But these businesses aren't playing around, especially in this era. They're just like, you know, they're a business, and if they don't want any mess on their hands, so they're going to cut people, which is wrong in my opinion. And it's also wrong because it seems like we're holding like actors and entertainers to like higher standards than like elected officials, like the president or congressmen who have been making jokes about this and stuff like that. Like nothing.
That's true. That's a good point.
That has been happening to them. Their livelihood hasn't been taken away. Why is this actress? Why is her livelihood being affected? But those who are actually in places of power, where their actions can actually make a difference, like Matt Gaetz, that congressman, apparently early on was like wearing a gas mask to make fun of the coronavirus, like a gas mask. And like Rand Paul, who's a senator, was apparently like purposely giving high fives to people because he was like, oh yeah, let's all like give high fives because we're not scared of the coronavirus. And then he got it. So that's what I don't understand about our current society. It's like the business sector is holding people like actors, CEOs of companies, like, you know, they're holding people in that realm to a higher standard than our own government is holding their own representatives. And like President Trump has been beyond shameful in this entire thing, and he's still president and nothing's bad happening to him. So that's what pisses me off most about it. Is like we're holding this actress to this like super high standard, but we're not holding congressmen, congresswomen, presidents, people like that to the same standard.
I see what you're saying. Like the bigger cogs of the machine are not like being changed. I read this thing like in one of my sociology classes, like about the FBI crime report, and I think like there's a certain category, you can look it up online, and it's like assault, rape, murder, theft, identity theft, and things like that. But then things like organized crime, or is it white collar crime, like, you know, like Wolf of Dog Street type style, is not a category.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Dog Street? What the heck?
What did I say?
You said Wolf of Dog Street.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't see the movie. Who cares? Whatever. But you know, like those types of crimes that are like, or like the pyramid schemes and stuff like that. Like, there's no category for them. Therefore, and also they're new to our society. Like, you wouldn't have seen like such a well carried out pyramid scheme in like the 1870s or something. You know what I mean? Like that could destroy like the housing crisis, or, you know, like of like an entire country. And it's so abstract to categorize. So like so it's so abstract for us to think it's bad. Or like in the article, they also talked about like priests who abuse children. That's an organization, like Christianity and whatever, like that's an organization where there's like the top and to the bottom, you know, like whatever. But it's so hard to think of them as criminals in like behind bars, like except for you think a robber or a murderer, that they're harder to prosecute. And there's no actual like numbers in the FBI, like that section of like crime stats. It's like, yeah, but they rob way more money and do way other or equally bad things than others. So it's like, who's in charge of this not being in charge of? You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, it's all power dynamic because all the people at the top are the ones who are most likely to fall guilty to those white collar crimes.
Yeah, and like, yeah.
They don't make, and even the prisons that like house those white collar crimes, like those federal prisons, like they're basically like where they sent Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's lawyer. They're basically, apparently they're like, they've been described as like adult sleepaway camps. Like they're not really prisons. They call them federal prisons, but like, because most of these crimes fall under, like you said, FBI, CIA, federal crimes, not like, you know, robbery, theft, which are not federal crimes.
Yeah.
So they make these federal prisons that are like, the food's better, there's no violent criminals in there, there's no, like, people don't get like shit, like it's nothing like real prison. So not only do these, like, a lot of these guys not even get convicted for a lot of the skeezy things that they do, if they do get convicted, they get sent to these federal prisons that are basically like adult sleepaway camps.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I'm trying to find it online. I know I have it on like a slideshow.
And
oh, here it is. The UCR program, Uniform Crime Reporting Statistics, criminal homicide, forcible rape or legacy rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, larceny, theft, motor vehicle theft, and arson. Those are like, that's it in a way, you know, that's like from the U.S. Department of like FBI and DOJ.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, you're right. And the record keeping behind that kind of stuff is, yeah, like you said, it's not as good as the violent crimes because they don't do that shit because they don't want to, the people in power don't want most people to know that other people in power are trying to fuck them over constantly.
Yeah, yeah.
And a guy who, like, there is some debate is a guy who robs one convenience store at gunpoint, right? Which he's a criminal and he's, you know, done a terrible thing and he's probably traumatized the person for life who, you know, so that he should be punished. But like you said, a lot of these white collar crimes, you know, they affect
the entire economy. Like, yeah.
Thousands of people, like those people at those big Wall Street firms at like Enron and Goldman Sachs, when like the housing crisis hit, they fucked over like hundreds of thousands of people.
I feel like we're gonna have to hashtag this like conspiracy theory channels on YouTube.
Not even a conspiracy. It's not even a conspiracy theory. It's pretty black and white. Like there's a lot of documentaries on white collar crimes, and Netflix is big on like, I know they've got that documentary like Dirty Money now. I've seen a bunch of Netflix documentary about kind of like white collar crimes and financial crimes and things of that nature.
Richard, anything to add or?
No. You guys literally jumped from the Ant-Man character. You guys just leapfrogged all the way through to this. And I was like, wow.
Her losing her job is a government conspiracy. That's what it is. That's what the conclusion is.
It's all one giant government. I really despise conspiracy theories. Like, I think because in general, like 90% of them are wrong. So when people are online, like stirring up conspiracy theories, it's just as bad as like fake news. I don't understand why people are so against fake news and misinformation, but if it's like disguised in this sort of like mystery and like intrigue of a conspiracy theory, nobody gives a fuck about it. Like no one bashes on it. When in reality, like there's this guy named Mick West who I think he like made those like early Tony Hawk video games. Remember that video game company like Ubisoft or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like the founder of that video game company, made like $1 billion, retired, sold his company, and now he spent like the rest of his life debunking conspiracy theories. And he has like this whole like organization that just is like of these like really smart people in a lot of different sectors who just go around and debunk conspiracy theories. And I saw him on an interview once, and he said something like 99% of conspiracy theories are usually not only like wrong, but like from the jump, like scientifically inaccurate, logically inaccurate, like whatever it's dealing with, whatever topic. It's like even the basic logic of these conspiracy theories are just completely wrong. And I just don't understand why. I respect that guy a lot because he's taken on conspiracy theories. I don't understand why people are so. And Vanessa, I can see you were like, oh, you're gonna be like, I love conspiracy theories. Like,
No.
but like, I don't know. I don't understand why people are so like welcome to conspiracy theories when in reality they do a ton of damage and they're not good at all. But because there's this like mystery and mysticism behind them, people are like, oh, conspiracy theories are cool. Let's watch YouTube videos about them and talk about them. And like, you know, like when we hang out, let's all drink wine and talk about our craziest conspiracy theories. When in reality, like, it's all bullshit.
I'm down for the wine part.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like we should do that. I feel like we should grab some wine and just talk about conspiracy. You know what? That's
so now you're proving my point.
While we're doing this, actually, the more I think about it,
too. Next time we should.
Well, Joe does a lot of this podcast like high as fuck. Like
I'm talking about other people.
What?
I'm talking about other podcasts.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But you're proving my point right now, Richard. You're like, I just said how bad that was, and you're like, we should do that. I literally said it's bad when people like get together, drink wine, and like spread all these stupid conspiracy theories, and you were like, you know what? We should do that.
And how is that proving you right?
Because I'm saying like people people think it's just like cool to do that. You're like, we should do that. That's cool, but it's not. I'm trying to preach. That's not cool. Conspiracy theories are not cool. They're damn.
Have you seen the movie Zeitgeist?
I still want to get drunk and talk about Zeitgeist.
Richard. You should like open a bottle of wine and watch Zeitgeist and be like, whoa, dude. And then you're gonna laugh your ass off for like a third of it.
What conspiracy theory do you really buy into?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, the Bermuda Triangle.
The what?
The Bermuda Triangle. How things go missing. And there's also this one that I recently saw. Okay, maybe I am like a little bit like I'm not into them.
Eyes, bro. I can see.
I saw my eyes in the video and I was like, okay, girl, chill. Then there's one where like people have gone missing, just randomly missing throughout the United States, and someone like overlaid these like hidden tunnel systems in the U.S. and like there's hotspots. Sam, don't shake your head at me like no.
Not finished. Don't look at Sam.
So it's like this theory that like, you know, there's these tunnels that no one understands who made them, like caves that go into tunnels or whatever, and sometimes they're connected through like literally the entire other side of the United States. And then there's missing people's reports, right? So on one hand you have these tunnels and then you have these missing people, and the missing people are always like overlaid in the hot spots of where these tunnels are. And it's obviously it's like more like correlation.
I actually saw that too.
Yeah, it's definitely like correlation, not causation for sure, but it's just fun to like think there's like mole people, and I don't know, something. It just kind of like puts it in a little. I know it's a problem, but it's also kind of like it's kind of like I don't know why.
I believe it too, Vanessa.
No, you don't, Richard. No,
I don't believe it, but I think it's like, for example, like how like, you know, I keep thinking of the Greeks and how they just make myths about everything just to explain it. And it's kind of like that. It's just like, oh, here's a nice little, like, you know, supposed gossip story. And it fits neatly here. So boom, like case closed, even though obviously it's not case closed at all. And like whatever, but
myths.
I think we like to do that. I think we like to cling to that a little bit, you know, like. I
think myths are different because myths are usually about like long ago or far, like gods or like far.
But not all of them. Like not when, you know, like the Greeks thought the gods were Mount Olympus right there. So It's not, I mean, we still know them because they're like epic and, you know, whatever, but like, you know,
during Greek times, a lot of their like if we're talking about modern Greek, like if you're talking about of the time modern, most of them were of like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like they did believe that like Zeus was on the mountain on top of Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
But still, most of their myths about the gods were about
creation myths long ago. Yeah, no, I agree. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And here's my thing about this tunnel thing. It's like, okay, there are these series of tunnels, right?
I like how Richard just like popped out the popcorn. He's like, I'm just gonna listen to this.
Here's my thing. It's like, if there are these series of tunnels, why is this like most conspiracy? Here's my thing about conspiracy.
Oh, damn! Finish your goddamn sentence.
So let me finish. Most conspiracy theories to be true could not be mysteries. Like if there were these thousands of miles of tunnels under the earth, we would know about it. It wouldn't be.
They couldn't be mysteries. he
Right,
said.
it couldn't be this giant mist. Like, there's no way we wouldn't know about thousands of miles of tunnels under America. Like, there's just no way.
That's what I thought too. I was like, well, who's investigating these supposed tunnels that are documented in this random map that are so like, like obviously the government has to do it, in my opinion, and go through these tunnels and like, map them out or whatever. I don't know, but there's no research on that either.
Right, that's my point. That's my whole
I didn't hear.
Go ahead, Richard.
All right. Well, I didn't hear tunnels. When I heard it, I heard cave.
Well, yeah, there are cave entrances that then go into tunnels or something.
That's true, baby.
No, that's true, baby. My point overall is that for these conspiracy theories to be true, they would have to be like, you have to basically believe that humans are fucking idiots. Like, because like that, like,
Well,
we don't realize that there was. You think, like, for example, the tunnel thing. Like, we just wouldn't realize that there was thousands of miles of tunnels running under us. Like,
well, like El Chapo and his people, like, freaking, they still finding drug smuggling tunnels.
Wait, are you saying that they're not? There definitely are tunnels under us. Don't act like there's not.
My point is,
you're acting like there's things that you don't know. Like, you're acting like there's nothing that you don't know. If there's something that you don't know, it's not true. That's how it's coming off.
No, I'm saying most conspiracy theories are built on these giant, like, society-wide theories, right? And no, you're right. There are, but we know about the drug tunnels. That's my whole point. We know about the drug tunnels. We find drug tunnels all the time.
Yeah, but we don't know about all of them.
You're right. We don't know about all of them. But I'm saying, if there were thousands of tunnels across America, like, kidnapping people, we would find out about that shit. It wouldn't be a mystery. That's my point. It wouldn't be a mystery. We would figure that shit out. And I hear what you're saying. But I'm saying, like, when you have these large society, like chemtrails, like these things that affect everybody, or these giant 1,000 miles tunnels, we would figure that shit out. It wouldn't be a mystery.
Well,
Sam, no, that doesn't sound real for me. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I mean, human trafficking is still like a huge issue, and
Right.
It's not all combated because they keep it secret and they keep the route secret and everything secret,
Right.
and blah, blah, blah. So we know it's a thing, of course. I know what you're saying, but we don't really exactly know, like, so if there's more people organizing, we wouldn't be able to know.
That's what I'm saying. If there's an entire race of
Vanessa, you got me.
Vanessa, my point is, if there was an entire race of mole people living under the earth, we would find that out. That's what I'm saying. With these grand schemes, like these grand conspiracies, if there's an entire race of people, an entire civilization under us, we would figure that shit out.
Okay, first of all, don't yell at me. Don't get mad at me. I am not the person who, like, made this theory up. What I was just saying is that, like, it's nice, not nice, but it's intriguing to think of it as a possibility to explain, you know what I mean? Like, when you see the website or whatever information Richard and I saw, you're like, oh, of course, that makes total sense. That must be it. But, like, then you're, like, here chatting with you and you're like, nah. Well, Richard is nodding yes, so I'm pretty sure they got him hooked. But,
I didn't hear mole people. So here's where I just heard cave tunnels, and I was like, yeah, I heard about that and like missing people. And I'm hearing mole people.
Well, they're saying that, like, I don't know if it was the same one, but they're saying that, like, it's basically people who live underground who are the ones who are, like, taking these people in these parks and stuff and, like, is that a yes?
That's a yes. I'm with that one, yeah. I'm with that one.
All right, so you're saying, I mean, I don't disbelieve that there's maybe some people who live underground. That's the thing. Like, I feel like society in general, we're just creating our own, like, think about it like this. If you think about, like, fairies and dragons and, like, myths of the past, right? Mm-hmm. Those are probably present day conspiracy theories. Like, yo, there's a Yeti who lives in that forest over there. And then eventually.
Yeah, like, we're making our own, like, yeah.
Sure. But my point is, eventually, when they went into that forest, they discovered, and the same thing with the Greek mythology, they're like, oh, there's a god that lives up there. Eventually, when they went up the mountain and when they went into the forest, there was no Yeti and there was no.
No, that's the difference, though. All of those stories come from their stories. They started off not as conspiracy theories. They started off as no, they didn't. They started off as stories. They started off as word of mouth stories. No.
Wait, but they're still theories because in a way. I mean, they're not conspiracy. It's a theory of how the world got made. Like a creation story is basically a theory of how, right? Or the create like for example, like Sebastian's mom was just telling me this story about how about spiders. And there's a theory or a myth, right, if you prefer, about how like Athena turned this woman who was like a master weaver and outweaved Athena, and Athena got pissed and turned her into a spider to weave her web like till the end of time. So it's like their theories. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say? Like
that doesn't sound theory. That sounds like a story.
But it's a theory, technically, like of how a spider is made. Or was created. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I know there's stories.
From you saying that there's just cave tunnels that people are getting taken from.
Right, but what Sam is saying is that like these are theories of these creatures we don't really see and how.
The point is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The point is, it was the same thing in 1200 in the Middle Ages when they thought, oh, there's a Yeti living in those woods. Don't go under there. And now you guys are currently saying in 2020, oh, there might be people living underground, like mole people. It's no different. And my point is, eventually, when they went into those woods, they discovered, oh, actually, there is no Yeti in them. And
I'm not going out into a tunnel and looking for mole people. That sounds terrifying.
That's what I'm saying. The government should do it. I'm not gonna do it.
My point is that we've already discovered most of the earth that is right under us.
No, I don't agree with that.
Bro, the amount of oil we've drilled, the amount of like cables we run under the earth, dude, we've discovered most of it. Maybe not like deep, but then if you go deep enough, no type of human.
Sam, do you believe all the information that all of humanity has ever found out is freely available to you?
No.
Do you think any of that information might be being held from you? Like, what percentage of information that is out there is being held from you?
Like, you're talking about actively held from me, or just
like not aware?
Yeah, actively held from you. Like,
no, that's different. That's different. You're saying not aware of or actively.
No. I'm saying what's being actively
held. I would say about 10% of information is being actively held away. Okay. And that's my point.
This is the difference between what you think and what conspiracy theorists think. Conspiracy theorists think the percentage is way higher.
But my point is that their percentages don't make any sense because the rate of human discovery to their percentage doesn't match up. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any logical sense.
Do you believe in Area 51?
What do you mean by that? I mean, there is an Area 51.
Do you believe?
I believe that aliens are being held at Area 50. I mean, Area 51 is a government base in New Mexico. That's a fact.
Are you finished?
So what do you ask me? I say,
okay, because every time I try to ask, you keep going.
I'm sorry, I'm getting worked up. Forgive me. I'm not mad. I'm just worked up. What do you? My point is, what are you asking me? Okay. You said, do I believe in Area 51? I mean, yes, because yes, that's a real government base.
Do you believe that there are things happening in Area 51 that you don't know of?
Yes. But do I believe that that's my point. Like, if these conspiracy theorists are thinking like, oh, 80% of information is being withheld from us, I don't see how that can be physically possible. I don't see how 80% of information can be held from humans when we are constantly discovering stuff, when the government is, yes, a powerful entity, but it's not God. It can't control everything. I just don't understand that logical correlation.
They can control information?
They can to a certain extent. That's my point. They can control information to a certain extent.
What's the extent?
Well, it depends what country you live in as well and what the laws.
America.
In America,
yeah,
they can control information. What?
What's the extent?
It's interesting because I watched Super 8 last night. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's
supposedly the sequel to Cloverfield.
Well, it was.
I haven't seen that one. No.
It was supposed to be, but then they changed it.
Yeah.
Actually, Stranger Things basically took the plot from it, but it's a little bit more government conspiracy theory. It's about this Air Force electrical monster that lives in that they're housing, right? And there's this train that crashes in this small town and the monsters. Yeah. My point is, like, shit like that is what it is. It's science fiction. I don't think government can control information to that extent, where they have secret monsters and they have like these like giant conspiracy theories that are like, so like, what percentage of information do I think they control in America? Probably like 20%.
Do you think they're holding the top information away?
I think they're withholding the shit that they're doing that's not ethically correct. Like, for example, and again, a lot of these things do.
My God.
Let me speak. A lot of these things that the government's doing wrong do come to light. Like the acid experiments in the 1950s and 60s. Like, that was real. Like, they were actually putting people under psychotropic shit, and that eventually came to light. Because, like I said, you can't hold that shit down, man. It's gonna come out eventually, and that's my point about conspiracy theories. Is this shit is too wild and too society reaching for this shit not to leak out of the surface and become known.
One more question. Do you think, here's a better question. If you were the president or whatever power you had the power to tell the American people that there were aliens, do you think that you would do it?
It depends. I'd have to know more context. Like,
I'm dying to know.
Like, who are these aliens? Where are they? Are they evil? Are they not evil? Are they a threat? Are they not a threat? Like,
obviously, I haven't given you any of those things, and it seems like you have your own sort of category of what you would tell and what you wouldn't tell. So how about you go from there?
Well, I'm saying it would depend what the context of these aliens are.
Okay, what would make you not say it?
If
it'd cause alarm or rioting or something.
Right, if it would cause some sort of panic. Like, if we are like trying to fight them and we don't need like the most of the human population to know, because they wouldn't really help anyways, and all it would do would be cause panic, then no, I wouldn't tell. If it was just like, we found aliens and, you know, maybe they died off hundreds of billions of years ago, but we found evidence of it, and we just know that, yes, we do know that aliens exist, and I would tell the American.
I don't believe in any of this, but I'm going to play this character because I want you to answer this. I really do.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
You think people would actually be calm if we said, oh, we found a skeleton of an alien that lived 100 million years ago that came to visit? Like, do you think people would be like, oh, okay, or would they freak out?
Skeleton?
An alien skeleton. Not something that's alive. But I'm saying a skeleton that is not of this earth, and they have
fossilized, like deep in the earth.
Evidence that it was, I don't know, like the alien took a video of himself flying down.
No, I don't, because the same thing happened with prehistoric animals. I mean, like dinosaurs. We found evidence of dinosaurs from hundreds of millions of years ago, and people don't freak out about it. So yeah, I don't think it would cause panic.
Yeah, but dinosaurs are like what we know as they're in the same earth. What's unknown is outer space. That's what scares people. And
yeah, I agree. But I don't.
I'm saying. Wait, hold on. You didn't get to your other point. Your other point was what would. Oh no, you did get to it. Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
Well, okay. So while you guys were talking about that, like people did kind of freak out apparently a little bit when they found dinosaurs. I mean, obvious. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first person to find one was like, "What the hedge?"
Yeah.
Thought they were dragons, like, etc.
Sam, you have to understand that. I'm not. I don't mean to interrupt you, Vanessa, but people.
No, you're fine.
People were freaking out when I don't know, was it Galileo or was it someone that was like
that the Earth is not the center of the universe? Yeah.
It's not the center of the universe. I was like, yeah, but
that's
not true. A lot of people were like, that's not for many years. People didn't believe him. Like they had their own. Yeah.
But that's why I think it's important to get that kind of scientific information out there so that we can start shaping our factual world around the reality of our world.
Yeah,
So,
no one disagrees with what you've just said right then, but you have to understand that people, that not all of that information is going to be put out there because a lot of people just won't take it in naturally and be okay with it.
Yeah, there are people who are going to resist.
Now cause a huge disturbance with what's going on.
Yeah,
but again, I don't believe in aliens, but I will say this: I have talked to a good friend of mine. I won't put his name out there. That truly, like I'm saying, to his core, 100% believes in aliens.
well, I mean that's just wrong because nothing's 100%. But I hear what you're saying. But no, that's what I'm saying is that.
What do you mean that's wrong? He said he believes in it.
No, he's saying it's.
Yeah.
I'm saying nothing can be 100%. So
Yeah, he's not insulting your friend. He's just saying that, like, Sam, I'm sure you respect his ideas, but you don't think anything at all is absolute. Yeah.
Yes.
But I see what you're saying, Richard. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
But my point is, you asked me if I would release information about aliens. I said not if they were like an active threat and the human population couldn't help, but if our scientists could do enough research to be like, look, we are sure these people are no longer existing, then it's like I said, it's part of our logical scientific world, then I would release it. And yes, some people would be freaked out by it. Some people would reject it, like any other scientific discovery. Like you said, like that the Earth is not the center of the universe, like gravity exists, like like all this stuff. So if it was a logical piece of scientific information that wasn't an active real threat, then yes, I would put it out there.
I just want to know, honestly.
You want to know if aliens exist?
Oh, you just want to know if they're okay. Like I feel like, yeah.
If I could ask the president like one thing and like swear an NDA, like if they put like a chip that if I said the answer, like my arm would blow up or something, I'd be like, do it. Let's do it.
That's interesting because I would not ask that question.
What would you ask? Jinx,
I don't know. I never thought about that, but I have thought about like because people say that all the time. Like if I could ask the president one question, I would ask if there are aliens. And to me, that's a dumb question because
I would ask that too. I would ask that too.
But why? Because the chances of
because we're curious, Sam.
I know, but the chances of aliens affecting anything on Earth is so low, even if they exist.
Hey, that's what makes it interesting. The low percentage of that it has happened is so entertaining to me because it would affect a lot of things I would believe in. If there's aliens, I mean, I would already say I'm an atheist, but I would further believe that there was no God.
Why though? I don't feel like that doesn't disprove God at all.
It would for me a little bit.
But why? Why couldn't God just make if a God isn't?
They could have their own, or God could have made. I mean, I'm atheist, but like to the reason with someone who believes in God is like, oh well, then he or she created them too, just in another planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And my point is actually knowing just yes or no, do aliens exist, actually doesn't change that much for human life on Earth.
Okay, Sam, what would you ask the president if you had one question to ask the president?
I don't know. I had to think about that.
What about do they know who shot JFK or something like that? Or
that kind of shit doesn't matter, bro. That kind of shit doesn't matter. So you know who shot JFK? The person who they found who shot him, whatever his fucking name was. That's another conspiracy theory tirade.
So Sam, what does matter?
Real shit, bro. Like real shit.
Hey, I'll ask one more time. Sam, what does matter?
Global warming matters.
Okay.
Like that,
what would you ask him? What would you ask him depending on
about global warming?
Or her?
Yeah.
Or her? I would ask them, like, well, it depends who the president is, right?
Trump, right now, Sam.
My question to him would be like, why are you not?
No, Sam.
Sam, that would literally answer nothing. your answer would do nothing.
Because he'd be like, I'm doing great. No, which like thing would you want to know that someone from power knows? Like, for example, like, well, I don't know. They can only think about aliens right now or the JFK theory, but like,
I don't know. It's such a hard question. But I feel like shit like that, like, who killed JFK? Are there aliens? There's so many more pressing issues that we face as humanity than like stuff like that.
But we're not asking about what could cure the world. We're asking like, what is your curiosity? Oh, because I'm stretching because I'm like really sore. I did some workouts today because I'm quarantined. So yeah, I'm just sore.
I mean, I would try to ask him a question, something that I feel like would be productive for society.
And which would be?
I don't know, bro. That's a hard question.
I'm trying to save the world, and we're just wondering if there's aliens out there. So.
I don't want to.
I think if people knew that there were extraterrestrials, whatever, there are life forms outside, that would expand people's mind. I feel like the space race right now is growing, and it would only get bigger. Like I think that would do more for our future than you think.
Would you guys go to the moon?
Absolutely.
Oh, I would not. Sam, would you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't even go to the underground tunnel between Paris and London. Like, I'm so claustrophobic.
I wouldn't go under. I wouldn't go to like the bottom of the ocean, but
you go in like a capsule that could explode, and essentially,
yeah.
you're okay.
Absolutely.
Actually, I don't know if it would.
What?
No, go ahead, Richard. Sorry.
But I was gonna say it's not because of like claustrophobic, but it's just it'd be something that I know I would only get one chance at doing.
That's true. I'd do it if I was like 95 or something. I'd be like, all right.
Yeah,
and I'd have to take some Valium or something to calm me down. like liquid marijuana if they had it back then, like in the future.
You're saying that you would never get on a
space shuttle?
A spaceship?
No spaceship, no submarine.
Fuck that shit.
Mm-mm. But submarine can go deep, and you're basically in a thing with water pressure all around you, and like, look, do you see these eyes are freaking out?
I would probably
no way.
Current me would probably be freaked out by that too, but I don't know if I'd go to the moon. But like if I is that like you said, like is it worth it to go to because people have been there before, we know a lot about the moon. But if they're like, you want to go to Saturn, I'd be like, yeah, you got to do that because like no one's ever been before.
I wouldn't do that.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like that if no one has ever been there, you're saying no one, like you know nothing of that place. There's nothing there.
They've sent some like robots and Saturn.
That's fine. If it was like hey, we're sending you someplace no one has ever been, and we need you to go.
Like a Virgin Voyage.
Yeah. What? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope.
That would be so much more exciting. I feel like.
I feel.
Yeah, a trip to the moon just seems like, all right, you go to the moon, you're like, oh look, there's Earth from the moon. Okay, we're going back now. It just seems like.
What would you like to discover? If anything.
See, that's the thing. If I was to go to a new planet, I want to discover some like new form of energy or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Or like some new sort of thing that we can like progress society with, like energy or something of that nature.
Well,
honestly, that excites me more than aliens. If we were to find some new form of like energy or something like that, that would excite me more than just being like, yeah, there are aliens who exist.
There's this thing I saw a while ago, and it was like the city. I'm sure it was like in the Nordic countries where they're perfect, and they were making the roads to sort of material that kind of like a solar panel, so they could power their city with it.
The roads?
Yeah, like roads, like instead of asphalt or whatever it is we use, cement, whatever, it was like this material that would be charging literally all day, and you can drive on it, of course, but also it would just be charging for other things. And I'm like, why aren't we good enough to just do that like everywhere, regardless of the like cost, net profits, or whatever? That's cool.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that excites me. So not alien shit like that. Shit that actually progresses like humanity.
And Sam is better than us.
No. See, I don't want to sound like this morally.
These are personal attacks right now.
No, I don't want to sound like this morally superior person because that just makes me sound like an asshole. And I will grant that maybe aliens would have some of that technology. Like if we did discover aliens, maybe they would have some of that technology.
Okay.
Like if you went to Uranus and found a rock that would just like charge like an entire city.
Right,
I see what you're saying.
Aliens. Right. But I'm saying, but even if we discover aliens, maybe they do have some technology that could help us. But also aliens could be like, they're talking about aliens, a lot of people at NASA, like aliens in terms of like basically like single cell organisms that live in like craters and on Mars. You know, like, is that going to excite people? Probably not. Is that going to matter to humanity?
Yeah.
Or like entities we can't even see that are aliens, quote unquote. Yeah.
So what does alien even mean? That's another question. It's like, what is it? Because we have this sort of like classical Hollywood sci-fi vision of an alien, right? But like an alien might not be anything like that. Okay. Exactly like Vanessa said, like we might not even be able to interact with it. We might not be able to see it. It might be some sort of different celled organism. It might be like some slime that's technically alive. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Like a fungus or something.
Yeah, like a fungus. Is that an alien? If there's a fungus growing on another planet, that's alive. Is that an alien?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
That's my other issue. I feel like people are so trapped in this box of what an alien is.
Well, that would be like when people say, is there life on Mars? Like, water is life, right? I mean, so I think when people, if we're generally speaking, it would be life if you find a horse in Jupiter, right? But if you say alien, you're talking about like a humanoid or something we want to interact with. That's the difference, I guess.
Yeah, and I feel like when your friend Richard, who you say is 100% sure of aliens, like I feel like they think of
he 100% believes there's aliens.
Right, but I feel like he thinks of it in this like I don't know him obviously, but I imagine a lot of people who are like that think about it in this sort of like Hollywood sci-fi box of like, oh yeah, it's green and has like a weird shaped head and big eyes and like. So that to me that just proves to me that they're thinking about it too small-mindedly anyways. Silence.
Yeah, like a human point of view. There's a word for, there's a term for that.
I can't answer for him directly.
Right. It's just kind of unfair for us to be arguing with a person who's not here to defend
Let's call him up.
So whoever, if you're watching this and you know who you are, I apologize because I agree that it's not fair to argue with somebody who's not here. But that's my point is that like.
Well, as long as you respect their opinions.
Sure, I respect it.
Yeah, then we're fine. Yeah.
My opinion is that this is America, right? He can say, I believe in aliens, and I can say, I don't really. And I don't believe in your vision or your interest in aliens. I don't think it's that important. Vanessa, that arm thing is really weird. It's
okay, sorry.
Out, you look like a paraplegic or something.
Oh my God. See, what you just said.
Wait, so you're freaked out by paraplegics?
Richard, let's not go there. No, but see, that goes to what you said earlier, goes to my thing. Because, like, you said, like, this is America, and I'm like, they shouldn't screw up my Ant-Man movie because this one lady wanted to bring her kid to gymnastics, and this is America, and, you know, for freedom of speech. That movie's going to not be good because of that. That's all I'm saying.
Here's another hot Sam opinion. No Marvel movie is good, so it doesn't really matter in the scheme of things.
What? I just don't get how you didn't, like, at least enjoy Civil War.
I didn't even see it.
I'm saying, like
they're all the same to me.
Thank you, Vanessa.
And I don't like the posters either. I really dislike the posters.
Thank you, Vanessa. They're all the same.
This wasn't for you, Sam.
Wait, what do you mean posters? Like
the posters of them all, like the you know, the movie posters that they put everywhere, like whatever, and it's all them. Like, you know, the Avenger poster had everybody, and people were pissed because Hawkeye wasn't.
I get really into that because Marvel put in so much effort just to put out the posters and what they do with their commercials and there's the toys that they put out. It's because I think Sony owns some of the like superheroes as well.
Mm-hmm. Like some of the rights or whatever. Yeah.
Some of the rights. So they have to like buy it from Sony and then like introduce it slowly into their storyline. So like biggest like Spider-Man when he first was like when he came from Sony to Marvel, or when he was already in Marvel, when he came from Sony to Disney, like they didn't know if they're gonna make the third Spider-Man.
Who I can't stand. That was going to be one of my questions. Okay, we'll save it for later.
Yeah. That was an issue with Spider-Man.
Yeah, so when they do like a Spider-Man poster, they're adding in like different Easter eggs of like who the villain's going to be, like who's involved in the storyline over here, like what's this going to be over there. And I go into like YouTube videos of people like really understanding it, and like they'll tell me about it. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I like that because I really enjoyed these stories when I was a kid. I want to see them animated in a way that I can enjoy as an adult. That's why I liked Civil War so much, because they got all of the superheroes I grew up loving, and they put it in a storyline that was like, what? How many movies have they made? 11? They made 11 movies just to tell like this. It came to this one story, and I was like, "That's cool."
I'll give it a chance. I'll watch. I have Disney Plus. I'll give it another chance and watch just Civil War.
And then they did. And then what made me really enjoy it is that they made a world about it. They made there's like 4 phases already out there. We just completed the first phase, then we're going on to the next 3 phases. And that's what gets me into it. It's like a series. It's like watching Game of Thrones.
No, for sure. It's definitely like obviously it's also for money, but yeah, they're trying to like do this whole consecutive thing, so you get into it.
But it's like,
I really think I don't like the posters. I think they're ugly, and I like more. See what you're saying, that you like the Easter eggs and like the things and everyone in it, and it does look heroic. They're all like lined up for like super epic picture day at a high school, like superhero high or something. But like I like my posters like more cryptic and less subtle. Like trailers nowadays, what's happening in the movie by the end of who scares who, and it's like a little too much. Versus if you see a trailer from like the 50s or something, you are left wanting. Like you don't see every scene. Sometimes there's not even dialogue in it. And you're
from
like,
the 50s.
Well, you know what I mean, from back in the day, from like the 70s or something like that.
I've never seen a trailer from.
Watch some old movie trailers. They don't give everything away.
I've wondered about that for so long.
Yeah, they don't give everything away, and it's so when you're watching the movie, you're actually genuinely surprised. You're like, oh, that was in the trailer, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like you're not.
I like that.
But one of my questions was going to be.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
I probably sound like a real hater, being like Marvel movies suck. What, Richard?
Go ahead.
Richard's going to bed.
No, I'm saying I know I sound like a hater. What?
I was talking to you saying the glasses are coming on.
Oh. I'm saying I know I sound like a hater, and it's not a good thing. I know I sound like a hater. And I want to
like one. You look like one, and you are one. So go on.
But I want to make a point. I don't dislike the existence of these movies, and I don't think they're, you know what I mean? Like, I don't dislike that. And I think they should exist, and they can exist, and it's awesome that they exist. The problem I had is when they oversaturate the market and completely take over the entire movie industry. That's what I don't like. And when, like you're saying, we've got...
Oh, God. Well, that's less about them and more about the movie industry. That's more about what people are making. Like, of course, the movie industry is going to throw money at them because that's what's making the most money. No, but don't hate them because of that. Be like...
But they're a product of that. The movies themselves are a product of that factory style, like that industrial Hollywood style, like push out. Because they make so many, because there's so many characters that they keep pulling in, these movies, they get badly written, they become stale, the acting's bad, thematically they're bad, because there's so goddamn many of them. I mean, no creative person could keep that going.
But that's what they've done. That's what I'm telling you. Is that it took them 10 years just to write the storyline. Plus it's based off of stories that have been written for like what? When did Stan Lee and the other guy create this? Like there's comic books that continually come out. So it's essentially based on what has been written, and they kind of expand in the universe. It's not like one person that's coming up with it at that point. Like I would get it if it's like that. But it's based off of something.
Yeah,
that has been created. I feel like it's more. I think they did it well because it's definitely for people that are more specifically like interested in something, and they make me like, oh, like I'm interested in that, so I'll just keep watching that. But they definitely make it so everyone could enjoy it at some point. But when you're
what we're saying is that Sam and I do think, I mean, they are successful financially, obviously. They are entertaining. Like, they are, I mean, a movie could be really crappy, but it could be, like, Batman vs. Superman sucked. Terrible editing, whatever, in my opinion. They are entertaining. But I know what Sam means when it's like it's cookie cutter. There are loopholes because just like you, I've seen these YouTube videos of like oh, there's a loophole here that wasn't explained here, and they killed this guy, but then he comes back, and then where's the Tesseract, and and then they're like, oh crap, because it's hard to because they did, obviously there's no way they took 10 years writing this when they still have ideas flowing in and out. That's probably what they say to have people like off their case or something, but like there's
that's going into like weird conspiracy theories. I mean, like I feel like it sounds natural.
No, but I have seen like the Russo brothers or whatever say that like they haven't, they something like whenever they want to introduce someone for real, then they have to incorporate it into a past like timeline, and then and it's hard, and they're doing their best, and like people love them like you, and that's great. But I think Sam, I personally like I literally just saw Infinity War just to get the memes. And just to kind of like for closure for myself as well, I was like, okay, I've seen some of them, like, let me just finish it, but okay, my question was going to be, which one is your favorite Spider-Man? Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, or Shamik Moore from the Into the Spider-Verse one?
Easy. That's easy.
Which one?
Into the Spider-Verse, Shamik Moore's easily the best one. But if you're gonna go
humans,
human wise, I don't really like Tom Holland. I
hate that guy. I hate that guy. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, and I actually didn't have an issue with Andrew Garfield's version of it.
Me neither. I liked it. It was okay.
But I guess I'm gonna have to give it to the OG.
I would do Toby and then Shamik Moore, and then Andrew, and then Tom.
I mean, I'm going for Shamik Moore, A1 first. Sam, what do you believe?
Well, I've only seen one Spider-Man movie, and it was the original with Tobey MaGuire. So.
Okay, so Toby!
Wait, you've never seen the Into the Spider-Verse?
No, everybody tells me I have to watch it. But
it's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I heard. Sure. But yeah, I only saw that original Spider-Man. That's it.
And it was killer, yeah.
It was okay. Yeah, it was okay movie.
It was killer, Sam.
It was good. No, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. Yeah,
they did all right.
I liked Into the Spider-Verse a lot.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That was the animated one, right?
Yeah, and at first I get a lot of vertigo really easily, but it didn't really give me a headache as much as I thought it would, like the effects and because it looks like it's almost like 3D painted, but it's not. But like I've watched it twice already.
Yeah. I've seen it so many times.
How many?
I could say easily over 20 times because of the kids watching. The kids watching it here when it was on. When it's there, they put it on every day, and I would sit down with them like probably once a week to watch it with them.
That sounds cool.
I probably wouldn't watch it, but I'd watch it. Yeah, I'm not connected to it completely, but
what were you?
I watched it by myself.
Yeah, like times I've watched it by myself, over 3, under 10.
Are you afraid to say the specific number?
No, I don't know. I just don't know.
What's your top 3 favorite movies as a kid?
Ooh.
Well, I know that easy because I would always rent the same 3 freaking VHSs all the time. I probably was insane. It'd be Jumanji, Jurassic Park, which I know that movie by heart. Like if you put it on, I would know exactly all the lines. Okay. And the Batman movie with Uma Thurman as Ivy and Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Iceman.
Yeah.
I'd literally rent those 3 movies every single time. I had the whole Disney collection. But my mom was probably like, what the there's a whole store.
I feel like
what are you doing?
I feel like kids do that pretty often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they love that. They'll go on Netflix and be like, let's watch Boss Baby. Like, you've seen Boss Baby thousands of times.
The movie was pretty funny. I only saw it once.
Yeah.
Sam, what are your 3?
My 3 are Sound of Music.
Sorry.
Richard.
I'm sorry. I actually do apologize for that because that came out.
Richard.
I was not trying to do that. I apologize for that.
That's a fantastic movie. In fact, I rewatched it 3-4 months ago. Still brilliant movie. So Sound of Music, probably Space Jam and Lion King.
Oh, great. Space Jam is a great movie.
Same with you, Vanessa. I used to watch those movies like hundreds of times.
Yeah. But then would you rent them? Like I had the whole store and I would rent the same.
I just bought them. When I was growing up, bro, we had like 2 full bookshelves full of just VHS tapes. Like movies back in the day, like VHS tapes, just covered in. So I guess
I just had the hand-me-downs of my cousins, but they were all Disney.
Yeah.
My parents would just buy me VHSs. That was like my present, so I just would have them.
Oh shoot! Do you still have?
No, my parents gave them all away.
I got so mad when I'm not even gonna talk about it.
Remember when the Nickelodeon movies had the orange VHS? I used to love those.
I did have Nickelodeon movies. I had the Rugrats Go to Paris.
Yeah. And it was
that one was good.
VHS.
Yeah.
That was tight. All right, Richard.
I've never seen The Sound of Music completely. Like I know like the songs or whatever, but I've never.
You should watch it.
It was too American for me, too white.
I think you wanted me to watch it. And I think you tried to make me watch it one time. And I was like, yeah.
You should watch it. It's
made in like the 40s, 42 or something.
No, in the 60s.
60s or 50, yeah.
50. I can't remember. I think 60s or 50s, but it's a masterpiece.
Richard, what are your 3? Childhood 3.
I would say that's hard. That's too hard for me to just say like movies because I watched so many movies as a kid. But if I were, I would have to say for sure. I don't know the exact name of it now, but I know it's a Goofy movie, but it's when his son is going off to college.
Oh my God, Allison was just watched that the other day.
Yeah, so it's so good. It's like it makes my heart melt, and like he has to do like the whole skateboard thing.
It's an extremely goofy movie. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
2000.
I remember that movie. Yeah.
I feel like I watched Lion King so much I would have to put Lion King up there. Like I watched it so much, and it was my thing. But favorite movie for sure is Hercules.
That's Sebastian's. Have you done the Disney bracket thing?
Yeah, Hercules wins for me all the time.
I like Aladdin so much. I never cared for Lion King. I'm not even interested to see it in Broadway. I don't know. I never cared. It's not bad, but I was just like, it would really be down there for me.
Sorry.
I like the Jungle Book and all the songs. I want to be like you. What should be doing?
I feel like I liked all those movies.
Yeah, I liked all of them. But I would say the ones I watched the most were Hercules, Lion King, and Extremely Goofy Movie.
The reason I said Lion King and Space Jam is because I remember specifically having my 2 sheets, like growing up, were Lion King sheets and Space Jam sheets.
That's cute. I'd make a fort. I get the couches from my living room and make a fort and eat cereal. I had a TV in my room.
All right, top 3 cereals.
What?
Top 3 cereals.
I'm about this. Go ahead, Vanessa. You answer.
How do you say it in English? The Frosted Flakes.
Okay.
It's sucaritas, which literally is like sugary, kind of, in English, Spanish.
Okay.
Fruit Loops.
Okay.
And these ones that are not in the U.S. that are basically like the shape of a Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but inside it has like caramel, but it's not caramel. I don't know how to explain it. It's literally like
that sounds incredible.
If you had it, like it's out of this. I actually found one in Spain, like a baggie like this. I found it in this market in Spain, and it was like 10 euros, and I'm like, take my money. So good.
I still money.
I'm gonna say that I don't know that third one, but your first 2 ones were pretty weak.
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to be like, thanks.
Yeah, I saw you like. I was like, no, they're pretty weak. Frosted Flakes, bah. Fruity Loops, bah.
Have you had Frosted Flakes with warm milk?
No, I'm not a cat.
Oh.
All right.
My nanny would like warm the milk a little bit and then put the Frosted Flakes and a little bit more sugar.
No, I'm not a cat.
Whatever.
All right, Richard, you go. But we respect your. This is America. We respect it, but we also say it's whack at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how democracy works.
Big ups. Thanks.
Unless you want me to go, because I got my 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
My 3 were, my mom would never let me eat these, but my grandma would always have them for me when I got there, which I understand why my mom wouldn't let me eat them because they were just candy. It was the Reese's cereal with the chocolate and the peanut butter puffs.
Trash.
What?
There you go. Vanessa, weirdly enough, I agree with you, but Sam, what you're talking about was like black people's crack. Like we'd watch those commercials and be like we couldn't afford it in my house at that time when I was a kid, but me and my cousin would just like watch it. Like, yo, one day when I'm an adult,
The commercials were lit. The kids would be like floating on top of the Reese's cups and shit. I just don't like peanut butter.
All right, go ahead. That's
you're
one.
You're not gonna like my second pick. Wait, Richard, you don't like the Reese's Puff cereal?
It's overrated.
Oh, bro, no. All right.
I feel like once you start eating them, they start like because they're like chalky too now.
All right. Well, all right. So you guys think my first pick is black. You're not gonna like my second pick if you don't like peanut butter, Vanessa. My second pick is Captain Crunch peanut butter crunch.
Trash. I'm also just saying trash to all of yours because you didn't like mine. So.
But Richard, you got that, bro. The Captain Crunch, dog.
Yeah.
And honestly, my third one is not like I wanted to go one that wasn't just like the pure candy ones, basically. Like Captain Crunch and Reese's Puffs are basically candy. And I don't know. Like I can just eat these all the time. It's just Honey Nut Cheerios.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I love Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah.
If you put a little bit extra honey on the bowl, those are fire. Those are tried
No,
and
I'm
true.
not a psychopath in this. I don't put extra honey on my Honey Nut Cheerios.
Vanessa, block him out. You understand? Because I do that. I do that too.
What?
I specifically buy honey just to put it on my cereal. You understand?
It's good. I'm gonna do my weird arm thing again. I'm so sorry.
It doesn't look weird when you pull it up, but if you're like looking away and then look at you and you don't have arms, you're like, oh.
All right, so Richard, you approve of 2 of my 3?
I approve of all food. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You gotta approve. I love it. It's just not for me.
This is making me mad hungry.
All right, for
What's
me,
yours?
if I'm gonna go all-time favorites. I'm gonna go. They had Oreo cereals.
No, those were gross, bro. Those were.
How was I not aware of this? I'm gonna Google this right
They
now.
had Oreo cereals.
Oreos? Like the ones that were O's?
Sam, you know that's like a racist sign to do.
Oh. The O's? Like the O's?
Oh,
Yeah,
the Oreo
They were O's.
Those were trash, bro.
Those were so when I was eating it, they were good because I was like 4 years old and I was like, "What? You can put this is awesome."
Yeah.
One that people don't really know, it's Golden Grams.
Oh yeah.
Oreo O's were discontinued in 2007.
Because they're gross.
Yeah, because they were good, but it's just I don't know. But yeah, Honey Grams are just like graham crackers that you could put like I put honey on them too. Oh, so good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with Sam's last one and do
Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey. What's it? Honey? Wait, was it Honey Nut Cheerios that you put?
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm doing what's the one that has like I forgot what they're called. I have them upstairs.
What's a little like mascot?
It's like a what is the honey thing? It's like a
Honeycomb?
thing. Huh?
Honeycomb?
A honey stinger?
Honeycombs are dope too. I'm putting honeycombs. Maybe I just love honey with my cereal.
Yeah, apparently you're a honey guy.
What'd you say to me?
Which one were you thinking of?
I was thinking of if you give me 45 seconds.
Honey Smacks, Honey Bunches of Oats, Honeycomb.
Honey Bunches of Oats.
Honey Bunches of Oats is fire. Actually, as an adult, I liked.
As an adult, that's it.
Well, when I could buy my own cereal and be like, that's too much sugar, like Cocoa Pebbles, Honey Bunches of Oats, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, I fuck with Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Cocoa
Toast Crunch. Yeah. Those are adult classics. You know what was trash and was always trash and will always be trash, and I never liked it, and I always hated when people try to give it to me. Fucking the Rice Krispie treats, like the normal
too.
Ones that you like.
Me too.
Poke on it and it'll pop. I'd be like, yo, what? This tastes like nothing.
I feel like really bad because in the first video we shot together, I was wearing a honey whatever
Right.
shirt because it's Sebastian's, but I don't like them, and I don't like when people make those like weird brownies that are just like.
Oh no, those are good.
I just don't like that taste. Like, I don't know.
Rice Krispie treats.
Rice Krispie treats, yeah. What it'd be like just literally Rice Krispie brownie of Rice Krispie treats.
Like Rice Krispies, but with like sugar.
What is that, Sam?
Those are
Right?
mad
It's
good.
like sugar.
Oh, it is Rice Krispie treat.
Those are mad.
Oh, I didn't know.
Here's my thing. I went through a phase very recently within like the last year where I was like, all right, I was trying to stop eating ice cream because I have like a bad habit of like eating ice cream after dinner and like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you laughing? Oh, Richard.
What?
Richard knows my bad habit. Richard knows my bad habit. Oh God. I used to go to Richard's and like after dinner and just like come to his house and take ice cream sandwiches from his freezer. Anyways, but I was trying to wane off ice cream. And I thought like a good way to wane off ice cream because I still like crave that like sweet, like milky, like thing at night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like I stopped obviously eating sugary cereals for breakfast because that shit will kill you. So I kind of thought like, oh, what if I transition and make that sugary cereal a dessert, and that'll help me wane off of it. So I got Cocoa Pebbles and started eating Cocoa Pebbles after my dinner. And it really worked. I stopped eating ice cream. But then like my teeth actively started hurting because there was so much goddamn sugar in those things.
Gotcha.
That my teeth were like starting to like, I've never had a cavity, knock on wood, but I could like feel it coming on.
I've had like 5.
I was like,
Yeah, I have 5 now recently.
I don't know why. I don't know why I've never had it, but it like and after that I was like, I can't eat that shit anymore. It's just so bad for your teeth.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like the chocolate milk after.
Yeah, Vanessa, duh. It's like crack, but the issue is it's so bad.
Don't come at me with this energy right now.
Well, yeah. So negative, Sam.
Go outside and take a lap.
Exactly.
Oh.
Vanessa, I'm here for you, girl.
Thank you, boo. Thank you, boo.
Bang, bang.
What's it
But
called?
it is kind of. Oh, go ahead, Richard.
Nah, I was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it is kind of crazy, especially like when we were growing up, the amount of just like dessert cereals there were.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the same, but now there's more of like a health conscious, like, oh, I'm not gonna feed my kids sugary cereal, yada yada yada. My mom was always on that tip, basically.
I feel like Frosted Flakes is actually, I don't know if it's the least sugary one, but I would actually also get.
Sugary. That shit is mad.
I would also get the regular flakes and then put like a sugar, like a cup of sugar. I'm not a cup of sugar. A spoonful of sugar in it and like mix it with the milk and.
Wait, so my mom buys like cereal for the kids all the time, and recently she bought Frosted Flakes with the marshmallows from what's the other one?
Lucky Charms? Yeah.
It was mixed in, and I was like, whatever kid eats this is going to die. You need to stop because they're gonna get diabetes immediately.
Mm.
Just dude, crush it and then go on like a sugar high and run around the house and then crash. And I was like, that's crazy. That I saw it and I was like, nah, that's crazy. That's too much. They did too much.
Yeah.
Was it GE?
GE.
What?
GE
Brand?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
GE is
that's that kind of sugary cereal. That's why there's so many Americans who have diabetes and shit, bro.
Yeah.
General Mills.
General Mills. Yeah.
GE is like General Electric for electronics. That's why I was like, what?
Like, oh, it is because I can see this like the weird G.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, please be nice to G's. Don't call G's weird.
Okay, Sam, we will keep that in mind.
Anyways, Richard, you wanted to ask some questions.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see what your guys' TV recommendations are, or what you guys are watching now.
Vanessa, you can go first.
I started to watch season 2 of Altered Carbon and got kind of bored. I just was like downloading movies, honestly, like 1917 and Little Women, and I downloaded The Hunt, which is probably really illegal, but this one that just came out where like humans hunt humans or something. What else have I've just been rewatching Bob's Burgers. Oh, I watched like basically every Simpson on Disney Plus, so nothing new for you. Sorry, I don't. Oh, I'm watching Westworld, which comes on Sundays, but
I don't watch it, but it's on my TV right now.
Westworld?
Yeah.
You gotta start from like the beginning though, because it's like a whole mind fuck to say the least.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, I love sci-fi stuff, so.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sci-fi scares me. Like I get too easily scared when I watch sci-fi, so it's like it's hard for me to continue after watching one that's like super thrilling.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. What about you, Sam? What do you think? What shows are you watching?
As you know, Richard, I'm more of a movie guy than a TV show guy. Last show I like kind of binge watched was the Formula One show.
Oh, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I love that show.
Nice.
They're so. Didn't you think they were so petty and competitive with each other?
Oh yeah, Formula One races are like the most diva. Like
yeah, I didn't know this. I didn't know this about them. Like, what do you say? Like the stereotype, and
yeah.
I'm like, they're like what? Like, I don't like stereotypes, but it's like what you would think catty women and like Real Housewives would do. You know what I mean? I was like, this guy's like, yeah, like I have the best car, and like they're just like lucky to like see my tailpipes and my smoke, and I'm like, you coming off real strong there, buddy. Like the whole world's gonna watch you.
It's a sport made for like rich white European dudes. So like, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna be a little bit like hoity-toity and like diva-ish.
I only like the Australian guy because he was kind of like
Ricardo.
He knew he was cocky, and he wasn't as cocky, and he also like was kind of humbled in the first season. Like by humbled I mean like losing or whatever, not doing as well. But he would say like. What?
He's mad cocky.
But he would say that he's, the other ones would be like, I'm the best, and there's nothing else. And I'm like,
I didn't like the Spanish one.
Oh yeah. Diego or something or
Sanchez.
I don't remember. He had like a really baby face.
Yeah.
Louis something, right?
You're thinking about Lewis Hamilton.
I don't know. I'm not Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, and the coaches.
Let me look it up.
The coaches were assholes too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and the weird belt like one.
Carlos Sainz.
Let me see.
Or are you thinking about Fernando, the older one, the younger one, or the older one?
Hold on, let me look him up. Gotta figure it out.
No, but what's interesting?
I don't like Carlos Sainz Jr.'s face and demeanor. I didn't like him. I didn't like how his cousin was his pit boss, or whatever. I didn't like anything about it. His face is too sharp, and it was bothering me when he was driving. I rock with Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, Lewis Hamilton for sure. I was disappointed he wasn't in the first season.
But he was more in the second season.
The second one.
I haven't seen the second one like full yet, but yeah.
It's interesting though that he's the best and he's like probably the most down to earth. It seems, at least. I don't know. Who knows what he's like behind the scenes, but it seems like but also maybe it seems like he's the most down to earth because we see him the least of like any driver, basically. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's more. He is more in the second season.
I thought it was crazy that they apparently they lose weight because of the G-force or something every race, and they have to like literally work out their neck too.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's such a fun fact that I like.
Dude, I
don't know.
Alonso.
Oh, I didn't like Fernando Alonso at all.
I liked him. I like that he was like, dude, I'm done. He was like, I'm the best. I've been the best for a long time. Just like, come on, just let me ride. He was just there to like, yo, let me race.
I do think though that Daniel Ricciardo is probably the most likable one.
Yeah.
After Lewis Hamilton.
But it also starts with Ricardo in the first season, so you kind of get to know him a little bit more, which is like I think the editing helped, where you kind of get, and it was in Australia, so you're like, oh, cool. And as I say, he's like, what is it? What there's like a word that starts with self, but yeah, he kind of like makes fun of himself a little bit in a way. So.
Oh yeah. What do you say?
I said he's self-loathing a little bit.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he's like self-loathing.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was like,
you go ahead. No, you go ahead. No. We know you do.
Got him.
The driver I probably liked the least it was his teammate in the first season, Max Verstappen.
Oh yeah, he was a douche.
Dude, Max Verstappen.
He
Actually, I learned to like him. Weirdly enough, even after he fucked over that. Actually,
nah, bro, he's the worst.
still fuck Carlos Sainz. I hate him. Carlos Sainz.
I didn't mind Carlos Sainz actually.
Every time he came up, I hoped that he crashed.
What about the kid whose dad bought the team?
Oh, the Canadian or something like
I didn't even mind
McLaren.
Him, no,
Yeah.
he was he with McLaren?
I think it was with McLaren.
No, he was with Williams.
Yeah,
He was, but then the dad bought. Oh, well, in the season 2, he buys another team.
Yeah,
That's crazy. But yeah, and then the coach for the Red Bull, I just got his name.
I kind of like him
The
actually.
one that talks weird.
No, that's
Like
Christian Edward.
you're thinking about the coach for Haas.
Nah.
No, I'm thinking about the coach for Max whatever and
No, I know.
and
Which-
Ricardo. Well, formerly Ricardo.
Coach who has like the strangest accent.
Oh, that's the yeah.
Ha.
And those both coaches hated each other, but the real douche is the blonde one. He's like very calm on camera and talks like this, and you think he's like someone who's very composed.
It's like the American guy
Is he American? I don't think
or the
so.
Canadian. Like he doesn't have an accent.
I thought he was like British. I don't know. I
One of
haven't
the
seen it.
coaches?
Yeah, one of the coaches for who is the one who has to decide if they're gonna re-sign Ricardo or not, and then he doesn't really let him know.
On Red Bull, you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I like that guy.
He's kind of a dick. He's like a little scheming little,
They're all kind of dicks.
but he's like very scheming because the other one who has like a French accent, who you're talking about, he's
Yeah.
just like loose and like lets everyone know that he's just freaking loose and
I don't like
crazy.
the guy.
I don't like him either, but he's honest about who he is. He doesn't really hide it. And then the other one, like on the one-on-ones, is like, oh yeah, like I would totally sabotage this, And I'm like, damn, okay, like are we in Survivor?
Renault, right?
What?
The guy who runs Renault. The
Okay,
French.
Yes, the one who runs Renault is like all over the place
He's
and
my
like
least favorite, I feel like.
he's very temperamental and mercurial. And
Actually, I like the second season you see him more as the Mercedes head coach.
Hold on. I
Oh, okay.
look him up, but he's not coming up.
Who? Which one?
The Renault coach.
We're calling them coaches. They're definitely not called coaches.
Well, they're like, yeah, I don't
As technical operations director, but you call them coaches.
Anyways, that's what I have been watching. And obviously you two have as well, so it's not really much of a recommendation.
Cyril Abiteboul is the
French guy?
a French guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, I liked him.
No, come on, Richard.
I liked him.
What about the Indian guy who was like a fucking
Yeah, they had like one episode on him. He was like, "Oh, you're doing so well." Then he's like, "Oh yeah," he was like laundering money or some
yeah,
shit.
talking about white collar criminals, right?
Then he had to go to jail. I was like, "Oh man, I wish I continued with him."
He definitely seemed like the one who had the most personality of all the coaches.
I didn't like the Williams, the granddaughter or the daughter, the one.
Oh yeah, the one who. Well, I mean, she has like so much shit she has to fix. I felt bad for her, honestly.
Me too, but like she made it like about that more than about it. It was
well, because I think she wants to like make the legacy stand more than like the current downfall. You know what I mean? She's like, well, we have this which is true. I mean, McLaren did have like, I think it was McLaren had like a huge legacy, and then with her, it's like everything is,
Nah, yeah. She was like, "This is what we used to do as little ones." Every time she said some shit like that, I was like, "Ugh, like you're so rich." Nah, I was like, you talk like if I ever saw you, you'd be like, "Ugh."
All right, so I think it's about a good time to wrap it up. This has been an exciting, exhilarating, fantastic, amazing podcast.
Oh, it's gonna be sad when you guys hang up and I'm by myself again. And this,
Aw.
yo, whoever's watching out there, do a Mario Kart tour with us. Vanessa, do some Mario Kart tour so you can add us
Fine.
tonight.
Okay, yeah.
All
If
right.
I have time, I don't know. I'm really busy in this quarantine.
All
Just
right.
do it now.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for watching and listening.